Well, hi guys. This is late for us. I don't know if you guys prefer this a little bit later time or if it feels really late. You like it, Charmaine. I knew some of you really like this one better. Um, but we're gonna keep this call short. We really want to hear from you. So if you are in a place where you can unmute in a few minutes, that would be awesome. If you can't, that's fine. You can use the chat. But this is sort of a check-in call where we can see what's working for you and what you need help with. But I did have a couple things I wanted to go over first. So this is the week of Summit, as you know. Some of you are attending virtually, some of you will be there in person, and some of you maybe aren't able to do either. But for those of you that are going to be there some way, either virtually or in person, I want you to come up with a plan for how to use that experience on your social media. I think it's really important to go in with a plan. Charmaine somewhere posted something about, I think in the Summit group, that she isn't even on her phone much that weekend. And I agree. It's like it's a little overwhelming, to be honest. There's so much going on that I don't do a lot of like, I take a picture and then post it immediately because there's just a lot going on. So I like to sort of save it and post in bulk or upload the stories at the end of the night or do a reel about the day or something. Whatever you want to do is great, but I would go in with some sort of a game plan. You want to use this as a springboard to get people to join you. You know, it's really fun and really special that we have this girls' weekend, and there are a lot of women that could use that in their lives. So figure out your messaging now and kind of get it in your head so that you can talk about it. And try to talk about it in a way that is a little unique. You know, if when you're on social media, if you're seeing the same things, how can you do it a little bit differently? I always think that's important. So make sure that you use Summit as a recruiting tool this week. I also wanted to tell you I had a power half hour for us scheduled tomorrow, but I had a last minute doctor's appointment scheduled today for the same time. So I'm going to move it to Wednesday at 1 p.m. Wednesday at 1 p.m. and I'll post about that. So sorry. And then, I also just wanted to tell you this. This is super random, but one thing that Monica and I feel like is really important now that Zaya's almost, I guess, 5.5, is if you've been in the company for a while, you're probably getting to where you have a lot of clothes. And we really feel like it's important to offload those pretty regularly so that you keep your business fresh and you don't get burnout on the stuff, because having too much stuff just doesn't feel good from a just basic human perspective. You know, having too much of anything just doesn't feel good. And so I wanted to tell you something that works for me, and it's actually been a great recruiting tool. I opened up a group where I sell my gently used. You could do this in your VIP group. I found that this is really a nice way to get people who didn't want to support my business but want my cheaper clothes in. So I have like different people in there. But you guys, I've recruited reps from that group because they try the clothes at a discount. They love them and then they want more of them. And so it's a really great way to offload some clothes, make some income, and then reach new people. So don't be afraid of doing that, because I think we might have the thought that, oh gosh, if I give my clothes away at a discount, people won't pay full price. But that's not true, because number one, most of your customers aren't your size. And number two, it's just a different group. It's just a different group of people that want gently used clothes. So just something to think about every once in a while. You know, I list some stuff and it always feels good to me. It feels good for them. And then, like I said, I've had new team members join who have gotten into the clothes that way. Okay, anything else you want to share, Monica, before we go into wins? Yes, it's a private group for people that I've invited or that want to join it.
So not that I can think of.
Okay, All right, so you guys are in week 3. We've heard from Charmaine, we've heard from Annie. This week we're talking about mindset with me. Will you guys, if you can unmute or you can use the chat, will you share any wins that you'd like to share that have happened from the last 2.5 weeks from pushing a little harder in your business?
I'm almost at 10,000 in sales.
That's a big win. Are you doing something different this month from the push group or the same?
I have a lot of parties. I mean, and they were very good. And the one girl, her party's and it's the craziest party I've ever done. Every single post, only they've looked at maybe one person and they just keep ordering. And I told her, I said, your people are not ordering because of me. And she said, I said, why don't you just sign up? So she's actually signing up tomorrow.
Awesome.
At $1,100, I told her anything over 1,000 is not going to really count. I said, we'll figure out a way. I'll just move it and then I'll just get her a pair of leggings or something. And whatever, she can just, use a 50% off of mine or something, because I mean her party's pretty much done and other people want to order again. I said, why don't you just start making the money? I mean, I'm not literally, I mean, I'm using ScentShare, but I mean,
Awesome.
she keeps ordering. So I'm like, just order for yourself.
Well,
Wow.
congrats.
Yeah, that's
big.
huge. It's huge. How many parties are you having a month?
Well, I had 2 the first week, 4 the second week. What are we on now? Week 3? Yeah, so I had 2, 4, and then I've got 1 actually this week, which I don't know what happened with this. She actually, and I don't know if this happened to anybody else, she went in yesterday and she invited like 150 people and not one person accepted. So I went back and checked like the settings on the group, make sure I didn't make it like admin had to approve or something. So I just went back in and hit remind. And I said to her, I said, hey, check with your people and see if they're getting the invites. But Facebook has been acting very weird. I'm getting like all different kinds of weird stuff. So, and then I have another one next week. And then I have 2 more set up for the first week of October. So probably, I mean, I usually try to do 6 to 8 a month.
Wow.
Congrats.
I bet you Facebook did do something when she mass invited 150 people. That's probably.
I get spammed all the time. I get blocked for 24 hours. So I don't know. I mean, that was weird. I mean, not even one person accepted. I was like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah.
Okay. They're saying they're having the same thing. Shoot. Well, okay.
Yeah, it's got to be a glitch, because I mean, even if when I get blocked, at least I'll get like 10 or 15 through, and then all of a sudden to say, if you disagree with our decision, and it takes away invites. But it's weird. I mean, literally no. But when I just did the re-invites, I had 2 people come in. So
Okay. Other wins from you guys. Are you feeling the momentum from doing the consistent connects and the consistent sharing and the inviting? How's that going for you? Sometimes it takes some time. Like what you're doing now, you'll probably feel at the end of October. That's how I felt the last time I did kind of a push like this. It was like, oh my gosh, it like all kind of came, but not right then. It was a little delayed. Anybody want to share?
are you talking about like the push of getting people for parties and recruiting?
Yes. I mean, you're doing great. So yes, you are.
Yeah. But my thing is, a couple other people out of the parties that did good is a lot of people just said, I don't even want to do it till October, November. So I people that want to do it closer to Christmas too.
Good.
So that did work for me.
How about anything that you guys are struggling with or need help troubleshooting?
I'm coming in negatively, but it's because I was a slacker last week. So I feel like I have no momentum, and it's like damn it, Charmaine, when you don't freaking put in the work, you're not going to get anything. So I'm like, I'm using these 3 days before summit to really buckle down with the connections to hopefully get another rep locked in before we even go. But that just goes to show we all have weeks where we don't show up as much as what we want to, but then, I mean, what you put in is what you get out. So
That's right. And,
I
I'm
have a lot
having
to
that
do.
kind of week this week, Charmaine, and I'm like, I think it's because there's so much to do before summit, and I don't know.
I know.
Things are busy, and so I'm like, this is not the week. I don't know. I'm not having any momentum this week, so it's okay. We've got to give
I
ourselves
was just
grace.
I was just gonna say that too. It's like I'm not putting in the work that I know that I want to be and could be doing, and it's just the same. It's just trying to kind of gear up for summit. But I was just gonna use the chat, and I was like, no, I need to get on here and just say like I know when I'm doing the work and not doing the work, and it's reflecting on all my sales and like everything, and it's my fault. But and I want to. I'm excited for summit to get pumped up again to see
Me too.
everybody because I know that I always get so inspired and excited again from that. So
Me
but
too.
this is motivating for me now. I'm like, okay, I've told everybody how I'm doing. Now I'm gonna get my button gear because I want this. I want to have the results from working hard. I just have to make sure to put the time in. So
Yeah, good. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Let's see. Reps that are on the fence and don't want to join as a rep. Yes, Mara. Oh, those reps. I would just keep showing up in your stories or however they started watching you, maybe as your VIP group or maybe it was customer email. Just continue showing up and they're watching, and you can always go to them with, oh, the kit changed and oh, we're having a promo and all those things. But, after you've done that once or twice, I think it's really on them and you just have to keep putting out the message and know that they're receiving it and that when it's the right time for them that they'll sign up, which is why we have all of these connections and all of these things we're supposed to do because it fills our funnel so that we're not just waiting on one person. That's the worst, isn't it? When you're just waiting on one person, then you realize, okay, I need to be talking to more people. It should never just be one person that we're waiting on. Kelly. Oh, good, Kelly. I know. The no's are hard. The no's are hard. Authentic connections, that is so brilliant though. That's what it's all about. I've been trying to be more open to authentic connections too that aren't necessarily going to lead to anything, and those sometimes end up being my favorite. Just connecting with people, just talking to people. Good. Anybody else want to share?
Hey, Katie.
Hi, Grace.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The 90-day push group has been super helpful for me in making more new connections. That was something that I was never great at before.
Good.
So that's been a big win. But one piece of advice, I guess, if anybody has advice on, I'm not good at reaching out to people about the rep opportunity. So that was one of my goals with this group, is to be better about that. I just never know what to say. And I know that's that I probably sound like a broken record, but if anybody has advice on how to start those conversations, I would take that.
Do you guys have advice?
Baby's in a different room now, so I hopefully can't hear as much. And don't worry, I'm not just ignoring her. My husband has her.
We're not worried, Kelly.
But Grace, I'm kind of in the same boat. And I have never listened to podcasts before. And then I started listening to Katie's podcast. And just one of the things of that authentic connection and like Ricky, hi Ricky, said that she uses voice memos a lot. And so what I have been really trying to do is just popping on a messenger if they friended me and all that kind of stuff and doing a voice memo. I'm so glad you're here. How can I help you? I have this opportunity that maybe will help in some aspect of your life. I'd love to chat with you. And then, yes, I've been receiving no's, but that's how I'm trying to reach them as a person and not just be like, hey, I have this thing. So that's what I've been trying, Grace. I don't know.
I love it. it's something about when they hear your voice, it just feels genuine, you know, it's just more genuine. And I'm really hoping that at Summit, one of the speakers, one of the three, she's like social media person, right? I'm hoping she gives us some good prompts that will help with this too, Grace, because I mean, that is the most vulnerable thing to reach out. It's like, hey, I know you're short on cash. I mean, we don't say that, but that's kind of what we're getting at, right? I mean, in a way, or hey, I know you need some more friends. I mean, again, that's not what we're saying, but it's just, it feels a little, if you do it, if you're not careful, it can feel invasive, and you want it to be an invitation instead of like a put down, right? I have a funny story for you guys. I have really vivid dreams, and I had a dream about this person in my town. I don't like even talk to her. I haven't seen her in years. Like, I don't know how I had a dream about her, but I had a dream about her. And so I sent her, and actually, I'm like, she would be a great rep because she's a single mom and she's got a great personality. And I just feel like this would be a benefit for her. So I sent her a message, and I deleted it 3 times before I sent it because I'm like, I sound insane, but I sent it anyway. And I mean, she didn't sign up, but maybe she blocked me. But I said, hey, I know this sounds really crazy, but I had a dream about you last night. And I just felt like it meant that I needed to reach out to you. And I don't know if you need some activewear or if you need some, you know, additional income in your life or not, if you don't need any of that. But I wanted you to know that I had a dream about you. And she did invite me to be a vendor at a vendor show later this month. So that was kind of a cool connection. I'm not doing it because it's a $400 buy-in, but it was, you know, I guess she didn't respond for days, and I'm like, oh God, I'm so crazy. She thinks I'm so crazy. And then she's like, Katie, so sorry. I thought I replied. I was thinking about you too, and I wanted to offer you, you know, a spot in this show or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's a good reminder that it's just being human. You know, we just need to be more human with each other because I literally had that crazy dream, so I feel like she should know about it. I want to know if somebody's dreaming about me. If you guys dream about me tonight, please tell me. Okay. Anybody else?
I have a quick question. Now that you mentioned like of in-person event, does anybody here do them and do they work?
There's some nodding.
did-
You wanna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time I have an in-person event, it's usually at least $1,000 party, and it's, you know, it's an hour or two and you hit that $1,000 mark and you pack up your stuff and you go home. It's lovely. I wish I could have them every single week.
Now, do you go to somebody's house or do you do like when they have the flea market things and stuff like that?
So I have not had great luck with vendor events. I just haven't had good luck, but I have had awesome luck when I do in-home parties for people.
Even after COVID, people are okay to do it?
Yes, I've had 2 after COVID, and they've both been, one was 2,000 and one was 1,000. So
Yeah, because I've had a few people say, well, will you do an in-house one? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we start talking about it and then life gets away. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of weird. I feel weird doing it, but if it's successful, then I wouldn't mind doing it.
yeah,
And
I
then-
would give it a shot.
Well, like you guys just said, like hearing our voice, maybe that's where, you're in person and in their face, and maybe you could get reps that way too.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
all right, thanks.
Anybody else want to troubleshoot or have anything they'd like to share? Ricky, can I ask you a question? If you can't unmute, you can just chat. But I've been watching your reels. We've talked about it before, and they are just blowing up. Are you making a ton of new connections that way?
I am. That's one thing that I've really enjoyed through this is like the new connections as well. And I've had a few sales from them. So it's just, yeah, it's sometimes slow going. And that's what I was just kind of thinking, and probably just too timid to share. But like, it's kind of intimidating that our 90-day push is within this like big promo right now, because that's
Mhm.
obviously what everybody's going to want to go for. But at the same time, like, I'm really noticing like how important like the consistency is, and just like staying on top of the little things, because like I had a girl reached out who's like, I have been watching your videos and I want to have a party, you know, and like for
Aw.
2 years, like she never comments on anything.
Yes.
So she's like, I watch all your stuff. So it's just like such a good like reminder, like even though like the no's suck, and that the sometimes thinking of, oh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, like give yourself grace. But at the same time, if you keep showing up, like people are watching, you
Mhm.
know. And I find that with reels too, although the algorithm, I was doing like really awesome for a while.
Me too. And
Then
then
my
it's like,
algorithm just went,
me
I
too.
was like 200, what? Okay, whatever.
Wow. And whatever,
Um,
Instagram. You're not
yeah.
my mom.
Yeah. So I hope people don't always get discouraged like in the sense of the like the big promo right now, because it is a night, don't push that please, a 98-day push, but in a big promo time. But this, like the pieces that we're going to take from this, I think are so special.
Good. You know, when you were saying that, I realized being consistent is what makes us not have to be desperate. So you're right. Like if the promo wasn't here, we wouldn't have that even in our head. But if you consistently show up, then you always have a full funnel, and you don't have to be like, will you sign? Will you sign now? How about now? I need you to sign by the 10th. I need you to, you know.
Yeah.
So that consistency does take the pressure off of the desperation that we all hate. No one wants to be like that. We just want the prizes.
Yeah. Yes.
We're so excited to see you guys this weekend. I don't know, I'm looking forward to this summit more than I have in a while. I think last year I had to speak, so that was a little pressure. And then our party, we had to the party was amazing, but we had to set it up in a really short time span. And so it was like busy. And this year just feels like we just get to enjoy you guys. And I'm so ready to just be there and soak it all in. And I keep thinking, Charmaine, of you saying it's my favorite weekend of the year. That just keeps playing in my head because it's a pretty great weekend. Okay, anything else before we go? Did you guys write about what you're proud of yet in your journals? Yes, you need to do that. You need to do that. It's hard, but it's really good for you. Okay. All right. I'll come tomorrow with another challenge like that because those are my favorite. Thanks for being on tonight, you guys. Bye-bye. Have a good night.